That's right back, Charlie.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
You always use that active when defending. I think it's like. You always use that active when defending. I think it's like. You always use that active when defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
Like the big man just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. We made it to the end of the week. Happy Friday, people. Hope whether you're at college, university, school, 9-to-5 jobs, whatever you're doing, whatever, all them sort of things there, you know, child mind or whatever you're doing. I hope you lot have had a progressive week in your private and professional lives. I hope you and your loved ones are healthy and have better health. And I hope this weekend is kind to you. Sorry, Leeds fans, not where your football's concerned. We're going to need them 3 points. But yeah, man, hope you've had a great week. Appreciative of all the support you lot give me. Get your talking points in. You lot make the platform. Big up the Twitch gang. Smash the like button. We're playing Football Manager at 4:30. I'm back again. Big up G1, man. 11:30 purely because you know what? Yeah, I thought this week with YouTube or content, you've got to try things in it. You've got to see what works, what don't work, and things. And looking at my analytics, I just had a light bulb. It's like literally YouTube will show me, obviously not G1 is online at this time and Simon comes on this time, but it shows you the timings people are on in it. And I just thought, let me try to do it later in it because it's like a color system sort of thing. So like to explain it, the darker the bars are, the more people. So well, let me try to think. And I feel like there's more structure in my mornings really when we go in the afternoon. So we probably will continue to do that. But I thought, you know what, today I've got things to do away from stuff in between of the live stream, so it made sense in it. But yeah, appreciative of you lot checked in. Obviously last night we watched Arsenal versus Glint, probably Arsenal's worst game of the season in terms of entertainment, goals and that, and just general talking points. I've done my review of those. Check them out, people. In the weekend, obviously Leeds play Arsenal and it's Liverpool City. I'll be doing a watch along for that. Leeds versus Arsenal will start at 1 on Sunday. When does Liverpool City kick off? I'm sure it's 4:30, so we'll be pressed for time, but we'll definitely go live, even if it's just on Twitch. We'll definitely watch that together, man. Work has me mentoring new workers. It's long. That's a big up yourself, boy. If you're doing the mentor thing, that means you know what you're talking about, man. Teach the Dunny what he needs to know and what he doesn't need to know, man. Big up yourself, S. Think we acted out of desperation because of the Aubameyang thing and Laka's loss of form, but Eddie isn't good enough, wasteful in possession, and he needs too many chances to need an upgrade. To be fair, though, every strike, obviously some strikers are more clinical than others, but you know, for me, I believe in high volume. You create better, you're going to miss better, you should score better. That was like Aubameyang. Aubameyang was clinical and has shown of late doing it for Chelsea, but he was a high volume sort of Donny, and there's many sort of players. Obviously with Nketiah leaving, we was going to let money walk through the door. He's found a space for himself. I don't think he had much service yesterday. I do think his general plays improved. But obviously, beyond being a squad player, God forbid if anything happens to Jesus, we've probably left ourselves short. Like, respectfully, you just need to look at your competitors in and around you. You know, you look at United, Ronaldo can't buy a game at the moment, but he was, you know, he's a major reason as to why they even finished as high as he did. They did. And obviously, they've got Martial, they've got other guys that can chip in and things, whether United fans like them or not. You look at Chelsea. You know, they've got Aubameyang. A couple of their players will scumbag some goals, really and truly. Liverpool, Darwin Núñez ain't really justifying the price tag, but I think he will score goals. And historically, they've had goal scorers. City, even when they haven't had goal scorers, they're scoring goals. So Spurs obviously got Son and Kane and them guys there. And this is not a disrespect to Eddie. You just have to look at what your competitors have. So I do hear you with that, really. And it's down to Eddie to prove he could get better. As I said, I would like, if we could, another striker or a wide man that's able to play up front. But I'm cool with Eddie being part of the squad. But you know, God forbid, if something happened to Jesus right now, I can't expect him to play to the same way Jesus does, and I wouldn't expect much in terms of goals, because his record, in many ways, he is quite prolific in the minutes he gets, but he hasn't got a strong body of work. But bit harsh, man, bit harsh. I wouldn't say he's the reason for anything yesterday. It was a bit of a bored one for him. He didn't really have much service, but he's cool as part of the squad. But as usual, if you can upgrade and do better, why not, man? I'm all for that, and I think everybody else is as well. If you can, really. Like, it just makes sense. I'm about to be someone's mentee with my new start. Hopefully, man, are keen to do the mentoring. Do your thing, my guy. Love to see that. Shows that you lot are 30, wherever you're doing, man. Shout out CeeLo as well. Keep Xhaka as backup for Patino next season. No one will be happier than me to see Patino in the starting lineup at Arsenal. Probably naive to expect, especially if we get into the Champions League, that he's going to start week in, week out, really and truly. But he's developing in the right way. So I'm not too sure about next season. And at this moment in time, Xhaka is quite a few levels ahead of Charlie, as good as Charlie can be, or maybe will be. We'll need to move on from him eventually. We will, and that's the issue. I don't mind him staying. You know, as the older he gets, the more you diminish his sort of role and things like that. But a bit like Aubameyang and Lacazette, you know, we only look to really press ahead with bringing in a striker when our hands were kind of forced. When you look at Arsenal's pivot, Partey's 30, Xhaka is 30. Again, I don't want people to see the age and think, oh my God, you get rid of them and that. But we've got long-term, well, whether they're going to stay here or not is another thing. But in terms of age, you know, age is on the side of Tierney, of Ramsdale, on Zinchenko, on Tomiyasu, on Ben White, on Gabriel, on Saliba, you know, and I'm probably missing out some, you know. Again, you look around, Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, provided these guys stay, Fabio Vieira, who's just walked in the door. Not everyone's going to be here and things like that, but you get the point. When you look at our midfield men, that's the one that's not really long-termism. I know we got to see Odegaard and Vieira play together yesterday, and we saw it at the Emirates, and I think both of them can be groomed into eights, as well as Smith Rowe and Zinchenko. But I do think we need to somewhat get what Xhaka can, a long-term heir to the Granit Xhaka role, if I'm completely honest with you. And that's the thing. He's 30, contracted until 2024, adored at the club, on and off the field. Fans allowing him. You know, he is one of the first names on the team sheet. He's definitely been one of our best, if not the best performer for Arsenal Football Club, excluding the usual suspects, for the whole of 2022 and up until this point, really. But you need to upgrade, and there has to be almost no romance behind it. While I'm fond of what he's doing, long may it continue. I like the fact that Arteta likes him. I'm not saying get rid of him, but there needs to be that sort of ruthlessness in a nice way. Get what Xhaka can do to another level, and if you can, see what you can do in any other area and things like that. But I'm cool if he signs a new deal, really, but he's contracted until 2024. I think we should wait and see personally. But if you're going to tie him down, he's somewhat a bridge player. You know, his role becomes diminished. He becomes a sort of squad rotation option, voice in the changing room, hype and all of that. Why not, really and truly? You know, I'm all for it, man. He's contracted until 2024. Apparently, when the last time he signed the deal, didn't we hear there's an option of another year? So maybe it's until 2025. We'll have to see. I'd probably just see where it's going. You know, obviously he probably has to sign a renewal because his contract stuff is going to be whatever. Maybe a 1-year contract with an extension of another year. You know, El Nene's probably done after this year. We don't know what Lokonga's on, really. Probably need to bring in a midfielder or two. So there probably is a role for Xhaka to play, really. But it's up to him, you know. At the end of the day, he's a man from Switzerland. He didn't come up through Arsenal's academy. He's not a Londoner by trade. Football's a job, and he's an economic migrant. He might say, you know what, I want to try Italy. I want to try Spain. I want to try this. I want to try that. And you can't begrudge him. A career is short. I'm sure if we got Champions League football, he'd want to stay and try a thing and be a part of it. And definitely with, I don't like to keep waffling about it, but definitely where relationships with the fans are concerned, it's a lot better now, isn't it? So there's every reason to stay. You're loved internally. You clearly, you know, your family are settled in London. We've drawn a line under the sand, where the whole, again, I don't like to keep waffling about it, but the Crystal Palace at home a few years ago. We move in it really, but we do need to look for that long-term replacement, and there can't be any romance around it really and truly. And that goes for several teams really. There can't be romance. So we shall have to see really. Xhaka new deal thoughts. Sorry, folks, for making a timestamp. Here we have that. But yeah, cracking on. What else are you lot saying? Not gonna lie, I'm buying the dip and Nketiah stocks. I think he'll be good, but maybe a prem loan because the minutes are looking meaty. He knew what he was stepping into, innit? Like, I like Eddie. He's not scared of competition. You've got to believe you can play. Obviously, Jesus is better than you, but you need to believe you can have a role for yourself. And again, I'm not saying Eddie, and I hope so, but I'm not saying Eddie's gonna be 30, and he isn't. I don't like the term young, but we just mentioned Aubameyang. There's Harry Kane, there's Vardy. I'm not even trying to say this to big up Eddie and Nketiah or diss them. What were they saying at 22, 23 years of age? They weren't saying much in the Prem. Kane must have been on one of them gazillion loans. Aubameyang used to be a Rebo and them things there. And Vardy was probably smoking fags in Sunday League somewhere. So you have to give a man time. What I like is that we've signed a new deal for him. So by all means, develop here. Prove you can be a rotation, a starter in your own right. By God's grace, you wake up one day and we might say you can start ahead of Jesus. That would be good for the club. Realistically, if you can make some money on him and or Balogun or whoever's not levels, young Kyon Edwards, who was on the bench yesterday, fair play, really. And he probably does need, there is logic if he could go somewhere and play week in, week out in the Premier League, like with LOKONGA. But the shag with that is we need bodies. Again, until game week 19, big up Jesus. He got, he didn't get carded against Liverpool or Spurs, but we're playing a dangerous game and there's no other strikers. You could argue, obviously, I still think Martinelli can be a striker if I'm honest with you, but as well as the left winger. But right now, you don't want to even move him off that left-hand side because he's doing his thing. But you could argue if something happened with Jesus, Eddie's developed in that, but you could argue Martinelli, get him in there, try someone else on the flanks, we keep it moving. You could argue that. And if we're in the Champions League, we're going to need more than just one goal scorer because, again, we have scored a lot of goals this season, but they're quite spread out, really and truly. Eddie is near the top end and a couple of others, but they're spread out. And I think I like it, but I don't think we've necessarily got goal scorers. So we need that, especially if we do qualify for Champions League football, man. Big up you lot, man. But yeah, I'm retaining somewhat faith in Eddie. Admittedly, I don't think he'll ever be a first name on the team sheet. Maybe a purple patch, but you could have a role here. You've got a role here, and it's down to you to keep working, man. And it wouldn't have looked good, really, to see Aubameyang, Lacazette, and obviously Eddie leave. Eddie would have been forcing it. But yeah, man. Hopefully, if worse comes to us, we can make cash in it. It was the strongest team performance yesterday, and although below par, performances are natural. Are you worried maybe the fixture schedule is starting to become taxing? Yes and no. Yes, because of what you're saying. No, because this is what we signed up for. We're back in Europe. We've been here before. If we aspire to be a Champions League club, it's only going to get worse. And I actually like the fact, beyond the obvious and wanting to rest players and avoid injuries and all them fan concerns, the fact that Arteta is playing a strong team. Let's win the group. It's kind to you. You get to avoid some Champions League drop down teams in the Europa. You have one less game of fixtures, so that helps us. And obviously, if these lot are going to get to the Champions League next season, they've got to be able to do things like this, innit? So I'm here for it, but it's natural, It takes 48 hours to recover from a game. We've got 2-3 games, 2 games a week, 3 games every 10 days now. Everyone's got it. And obviously, the fixture calendar list after the World Cup is a madness. So we're going to have to deal with it. Whether we have the squad with the capabilities to do it, it's on Arteta and Edu. They're the ones that assembled this squad. They're the ones that, have to focus on at our best, how good could we be? But if everything falls apart, what level do we fall on? Potentially, we don't have enough bodies in the team. When you don't have enough bodies, like you saw yesterday, Saliba's going to have to play significant minutes. Ben White, last week, Martinelli, Xhaka and Gabriel. And you saw, with the 7 changes Arteta made, you saw for specifically them players what you lacked, really. So, yeah, it takes high energy levels. The games are coming thick and fast. Of course, the boys are probably going to be feeling it. While we're riding off the momentum, of course, it's taxing and, of course, it's a concern. But we made our bed. As I said back in August, when that window shut, we could debate all summer. Can we get centre mid? Can we do this? Can we do that? And we could still talk about it and it still makes sense. But for me, internally, I shut off because on the worst of days, you know what could happen. On the best of days, with the most optimistic cap you can put on, you know what could happen. But fundamentally, this is what we signed up for. This is what we're using. this is how we're maneuvering. So until January, where it's not confirmed that we're going to sign players, we made our bed for better or worse. So I hope it continues, but we are playing a dangerous game. Depth is required. And while we're getting better at that, and you're seeing some depth and some, arguably there's 3 solid options at left back now, for example. Obviously, Ben White's doing his thing at right back and all of these other things. Yeah, it is, of course. After watching last night's game, I think LOKONGA is a replacement for Xhaka. Good weight of pass, probably a number 8 instead of a 6. What's your opinions on LOKONGA's playing style? He's very languid. He's a bit like Ainsley in that. I think their biggest gift and curse is that they lack urgency, but that can be a gift. I think LOKONGA could play as an 8. I won't lie. Unless he wakes up and he's moving like a black Santi Cazorla, I'm not trying to see that at Arsenal Football Club. I'll be real. I'll be so real with you. I've seen serious, respectfully to LOKONGA, and I'm not saying get rid of him or any of that, but come on, man. Man's seen Patrick Vieira and these sort of guys in the midfield. Even Granit Xhaka is significantly technically better than LOKONGA. Santi Cazorla, Cesc Fabregas, Wilshere, all of these sort of guys that can pass the ball forward consistently. And on that, even in the squad, is he the best 8? Because it's Xhaka's role. I'm playing Zinchenko there before you. I'm playing Fabio Vieira there before you. I'm trying to make Odegaard develop there before you. Project Smith Rowe in that role before you. There's probably a next man that I've forgotten. I'm not really trying to hear it, if I'm honest with you, but I hear it. He can play a pass forward on one hand, but if you can't, I expect you. Well, you've played for Belgium, you've captained Anderlecht. We bought you for 20 million. When we strip it back, I expect a central midfielder with these credentials, and that goes for all clubs, to be able to ping a pass. And he's shown it on occasion. You should, that's cool. But can you do it consistently? Can you dictate the tempo of a game? Do you consistently want the ball? Is there a certain median of performance? And long term, let's see what LOKONGA's doing. On one hand, we might have to get rid if it's not 30, give him some time, but he's none of them things. And we're talking about bringing in midfielders. I have no say in Arsenal's transfer records or whatever they're doing, but I want an 8. I want 2 8s and a 6. So that would be peak for LOKONGA. He could play as an 8. He could play as a 6. Right now, he's not mature enough to play as a lone 6. And I don't quite think he's levels to be playing as an 8. So he's probably best at this moment on the left or the right-hand side doing a box-to-box role. I would love to wake up one day and he's got the credentials to replace Xhaka, but right now you don't. First things first, mentality, respectfully. I think the biggest problem with LOKONGA is confidence, consistent confidence. You saw it yesterday. When he got a little bit of confidence, he gambled a bit. He was involved in Saka's goal. He shanked a shot, but just the fact that he's shooting, he progressed the ball forward decent. You saw against United in our loss. On occasion, he can ping a ball. He's dropping a shoulder on occasion, doing what Saliba does, really, at centre-half. Drop a shoulder, try to take on your man. I think the confidence, self-belief, and them sort of things there is LOKONGA. It's a bit like a child that's mums sent them to nursery. Anyone that's dropped their niece or nephew and you take them to nursery for the first time, the minute you're trying to walk off, they're crying, want to walk home with you. I think he reminds me of that. He reminds me of a wet dog, really and truly, respectfully. He's like a deer in the headlight. He feels a bit sorry for himself. And it's difficult. There's a lot of scrutiny, but you've got to get yourself that confidence, really. I default don't see you as an 8 for Arsenal Football Club. But I want to be wrong. If you can lock down 8 and 6, fair play. I don't currently think you're a decent enough 6 to, I don't think you're at 8. I think this is probably why. And again, with us chasing top 4 football, why you're only getting 10 minutes of things. I would always advocate for LOKONGA to play ahead of El Nene because he's going to be here long term. He seems a slow burner. We need to develop him, all of that jazz, right? But if we're just focused on this top 4 thing, short-term goals, top 4, winning games, keeping up that momentum, and obviously trying to win the group. I can't lie, if El Nene's fit, I'm going to play El Nene ahead of him at this moment in time, sounding like a hypocrite, purely because, and obviously El Nene is okay for what he offers, but I know El Nene is going to give me certain consistencies. I don't know that with LOKONGA, and we've already got a volatile squad where even the best of young players, you don't know, Gabriel, Saliba, Benjamin White, they're going to do silly things from now and again. Ramsdale, Martinelli, Saka, even though they're bagging goals or have bagged goals between them, they're going to miss chances that they should be scoring and other sort of stuff. So it's not unrelated to LOKONGA, even Odegaard and Jesus. But yeah, at some point, I do hope LOKONGA starts to show levels. He looks like a slow burner, but at some point we're going to have to say, do we just nip this in the bud? By God's grace, he shows his talent, or do we just nip this in the bud? Or do we just, loan him out? What happens? Because time doesn't wait for no one, a bit like Reece Nelson. I think he was okay yesterday. Didn't stand out. I wouldn't say he didn't take his chance, but didn't do nothing to really think Arteta going, well, time's not waiting. You know, some people are going to need a bit of time. Eddie last season started to show he could have a role. Xhaka from the moment he's walked in this first team. Martinelli's shown his potential, but to go to that other level, had to hold off a bit. Saliba had to hit some loans in that. And there's probably some other examples and things. So, you know, it's never just like that. But we ain't got time to waste. The league isn't going to wait for this whole 20-man squad to be 30. So I would say that with Lokonga. I'd say the biggest thing away from the obvious would be confidence. If you get your confidence up, you will look at twice the better player and positioning, especially in the middle of the park. If there's one area that I've got no patience for, someone being naive positionally, it's the middle of the park, because it's the midfield battle week in, week out. So I do hope he gets it right. And, you know, obviously in all or nothing, he's there crying about first team football all the time. But you have to get yourself in a certain headspace, man. So we're going to have to see, man. But yeah, man, that's what I would say with Lokonga, bro. Shout out Black Capone, whatever you said here. Big up the Twitch gang. Stylish, one love, man. New to your channel, DG. Appreciate that. Welcome. If we get Champions League, we need to go for Rice. He's a Saliba type addition for our midfield. I mean, Declan Rice would be welcome at Arsenal. And listen, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be my money, but he is more technical than people give him credit for. But the money they want, Arsenal might as well spend that on a midfielder that's might score goals, get assists, play champagne football. Man, don't want to play. He's essentially Declan Rice is a ball-winning midfielder. You can go there foreign. You could go foreign and do certain things. You could go there on another land and just do something, man. You can get his skill set for significantly cheaper. Respectfully, man. There's stuff out there's things there, man. No notifications on YouTube and Twitch done me dirty, man. Done me dirty, but we keep moving, man. We keep moving. Smash the like button, people. Terrible day. I know it's a hard game to take much from, but what did you think of Nelson? I think he shielded the ball well. He looked after it well. You know, it doesn't look, you know, like still an element of ring rust. Apart from that, nothing really of thoughts in it. He didn't really do none of them really did anything out there to make Arteta think, whoa, you're gonna play. I think Eddie is a decent. Oh, why am I getting news from that? I couldn't see a comment, but yeah, I think Eddie is a decent squad don. The problem is that his position is a higher pressure one. So can you really afford squad don levels there? If you're relying on him, yeah, I mean, Eddie's good to come off the bench and play the League Cup games and that, but you're always looking to upgrade everywhere. Big up, DG. Do you think we can win our next two games against PSV? I hope so. You know, it seems like it's going to come down to these two. And if we can, you know, can continue and get at least 4 points off them, then we're top of the group. We've helped ourselves in a very good position there, isn't it? Essentially. So why not, man? Oh, shout out K, man. 14, man said 14 like my striker. I hear that. One love for that one, man. Like when Xhaka was playing a similar role, I think if Arteta changes his role, we'll see a better version. Probably, but Xhaka's never been a bad player. He's had bad habits. The problem with Lokonga is I don't know if you're a good or bad player. I think you're a good player. I don't know if you're good for Arsenal. I haven't seen any personality. I haven't seen real consistency. You know, how many games has Lokonga started in a row for this football club? And you've got to earn that right. I like Sambi, but he's 22. He's no spring chicken. He's 23 later this month, actually. So it's not that he's a spring chicken. He's still young, but you're young enough to show certain consistencies. And I must admit, I do want to see a bit more acceleration of the process in your development. And there's a couple of naiveties that you shouldn't have. We've got to remember at 22, he's got just over 100 career appearances between Arsenal and Anderlecht. But at the same time, you've captained Anderlecht. You've played 78 times for them. You've played 33 times for Arsenal. So I'm not expecting you to be a madness. But yeah, you've played 25 times in the league. So he's still learning and things like that. But it is what it is. Well, I mean, he got to start against Aston Villa and United earlier in the season, probably by default, where he got 90 minutes and 74 minutes respectively. Past that, it's been a bit part role. To be fair to him, he's played 9 appearances this season. What did you do last year, man? I want to see how many games you actually started in a row, man. And you look good last year pre-season, well, the pre-season for last year. Well, when it was all Kalas, you know, Balogun, Martinelli, Pepe, a lot of players got to start at the start of the campaign. I don't know why this isn't. Should I share the screen? I don't know why that didn't happen, but how many games did you play in a row? Now, I can't lie, you actually played a decent amount. And there should be a bit more progress here. You actually played a decent amount. I didn't think you had that many games. But then you seem to have got rubbed out. Then you came back. the L's. To be fair, Brighton, Arteta's got to hold it for that because he played Lokonga as a lone 6, Odegaard and Smith Rowe rotating 8s. It didn't bang. And then didn't play to the end of the season, really. Obviously, he weren't alone in that Nottingham Forest game. I like Lokonga, but I like my football club more, innit? And the Champions League, if we get into the Champions League next year, there's less time for you and Nelson and Eddie to start games for the sake of it. And Matt Turner, respectfully, had a good game. Like, bro, man, can't be just give. The only good thing about the group stage of Europa League is we can give players game time, as respectfully, and young players and things like that. If Vieira gets the 5th yellow, is there space for Vieira, false 9? He had 20 goal contributions in 27 games and looks keen to shoot. We tried it with Smith Rowe. I hear that, but I'd rather, for the immediate one, Martinelli or Nketiah, or just go up front, man. More traditional. I think Lokonga has the ability to play as both an 8 and a 6. I do, but you've got to become 30 at one thing and then develop the other thing. And you've got to show consistency. Because if I'm a gaffer, which I'm not playing you as a lone 6 right now in big games because I don't know what you're on. I'm definitely not playing you as a lone 8. You don't show enough for the ball. You do some nice passes, but it's not consistent enough. And again, not to be harsh, just the harsh reality of football. A central midfielder that's been capped by Belgium, played 70-odd times for Anderlecht, bought for 20 million. You should be able to ping a ball. I think he did one. I think it's actually his pass in the build-up to the disallowed Martinelli goal against United. But come on, man. Come on, man. 1 year of Lokonga in the Championship will shape him up. I think the youth needs to be battle-hardened. Just needs to play, man. Lokonga and Tavares, sell him in Jan for a combined 30 now. We're zanging ourselves, man. We're zanging ourselves. I wouldn't get rid yet. You know, even Tavares, 8 million, you could make probably 30 off Tavares himself, man. But that's the thing. If these lot can show that they can become 30, why not? But there has to be a time for Eddie and Arteta. When's the time to pull the plug if they're not? Like, not everybody that you persist with for years is going to just get it right. Sometimes you just nip it in the bud. Sambi is decent with the ball, but he needs to add tackling and physicality for me. So real, his passing ain't spectacular. Forcing the 8 thing is meaty. Send him to the trenches. Seems like he needs that. Lokonga ain't the truth. It's a money thing. I can see Brighton and Wolves doing a cheeky swoop. It's hard to know about Lokonga. I see glimmers of what he can do, but I don't know if he can become what we need. And I think that's it for everyone. I mean, I don't really know about cricket and T20 and that, but it seems, well, I can't lie in the circle. I don't know. Australia 2-0 down? I don't know, man. Big up, DG. Love the intro. Agree with your assessment on Lokonga, but in pre-season, he looked really good as an 8 box-to-box. His goal scoring was impressive. We need Danilo or Luis. At pre-season tax, though, bro. There's no real pressure. And again, it's nothing to do with Lokonga. I'm sure you could be a 8, but come, man. Like, well, look at the midfielders we've seen at this club, even during the Emirates. Look at the options that are there. If there's a gun to you lot's head, fair enough. And again, I'll always say I'll advocate for Lokonga. But if you needed a must-win, and God forbid, let's just say something happened to Partey, are you going with Xhaka and Lokonga, or are you going with Xhaka and El Nene? With respect to El Nene. If anything happens to Xhaka, is Lokonga your first option in that 8 role? If everybody's fit? Or are you seeing what maybe Zinchenko could do there? What Fabio Vieira can do there? What Odegaard and Smith Rowe could do there? And maybe even the next one. I feel like I'm missing somebody else out. The only one that at this moment in time Lokonga's going to get in ahead of is Miguel Aziz, Charlie Patton, all them kind of brothers there, because these lot have gone out on loan. They're not ready right now, really. So I'm just asking that if I want Lokonga to show he's an 8, but arguably he might not even be the best 8 in the squad. I hope you do a thing, but I don't know. And I think with him, we just need to define what we want. You know, for me, I think he could be an 8 and a 6 of some level here or elsewhere. But we need to start with just one thing first, like crawl before you can run. Lock down some midfield role, kind of perfect that. Then start trying to do all these other things. For me, anyways. Like, I can't lie. That he's not mature enough to chaperone in the lone 6. I don't think you want the ball consistently enough. Maybe the gaffer is telling you to take up certain positions on the field, but for me, you hide a lot. You show, like yesterday, you hid a lot, and we're having to play through the flanks a bit too much for me, and players are dropping deep a bit too much. And Tierney's doing the first he was playing as an out-and-out fullback, then he was doing the inverted thing. You know, when you do show for it, you're quite decent, but you don't show for it enough. I shouldn't be able to, man shouldn't have to be, you lot can remember the one couple passes that he's done in a game. You know, you look at Santi, you look at Cazorla, you look at Odegaard, man, I can't remember he played a lovely ball over the top in the 37th minute. You can't remember that. You should be able to do that all the time, sort of thing. You can't dictate the tempo of a game. You can't consistently break the lines. You don't consistently show for the ball. Your movement isn't necessarily the best. You don't shield the ball enough. For me, away from confidence, one of the biggest problems with LOKONGA, he's got like a deer in the headlight. If you're going to put that in midfield, in the 8 position, fair enough, man. I think right now his best position is probably just box to box, just get about, because I don't think you're mature enough to be given beyond the obvious instructions, just added responsibility, really. You look like you need to help. You look like you wet the bed, really. So big up LOKONGA, but yeah, man. Smash the like button, people. This is horrible. This has been a horrible start to like 37 likes. We're not touching 100. Took Rodri and Partey a couple of seasons to lock down the lone 6 role. Expecting Sambi to have it unlocked with sporadic appearances is mad. It's frustrating seeing little improvement off the ball, though. Exactly. I think I disagree with Partey and LOKONGA slightly. And to be fair with you, way before they arrived at their club, they kind of had something. But you are right. I do think people expect everything to happen overnight. And I don't think anyone can. But at the same time, you need to earn the minutes. This ain't Sunday League. You need to earn the minutes. You are 100% right. It's a bit like Eddie, but you have to earn the minutes. Right now, you're not earning the minutes. Yes, DG, big up. How many points I think would you accept for our next 6 games before the World Cup? Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen, but you want to take maximum points, really and truly. I don't even know who we have. I know we've got Leeds, Southampton, Forest, Chelsea off the top of my head. Let me have a look. Premier League specifically. Thank the Lord the City game's been postponed, or maybe not, because we still have to play them twice. What we've got: Leeds, Southampton, Forest, Chelsea, Wolves, West Ham, Brighton. Oh, sorry, no, I'm capping, bro. I went ahead too much. Our last game for the World Cup would technically be on the 12th away at Wolves. Context is key, but you want maximum points, really and truly. Again, fitness levels and all of that. Big up Leeds, but 3 points needs to be claimed there. I'm tired of dropping points at Southampton. Respectfully, you know, Hasenhutl's under pressure and that. You need to be picking up points. So that's 6 points. If you're serious, Nottingham Forest, big up you, but that's 9 points. If you're serious, October, we need to take 9 points in the remaining 3 games. You've done the hard part. Respectfully, Nuno Espirito Santos being talking about going back to Wolves, so you need to take 4 points there. So yeah, my maths is poor, my mental maths is even worse, but 3, 6, 9, 12 points minimum, really. Chelsea goes either way. You obviously you want to get 15. I'll take a point at the Bridge. You'd love to win, because out of all the top 6 games, we seem to do all right at Chelsea at the Bridge, and they're definitely away from home with all the other rest of the top 6. So yeah, man. That would answer, if that answers your question. Chelsea's the only game realistically I want to see us, and God forbid it probably won't. Premier League different, but on paper, I know South St Mary's is brazy. Leeds, high intensity. It's not going to be easy. Forest fighting for their lives. Southampton, pressure on the gaffer. Wolves, difficult place to go to. They're going to have a new gaffer, and I'm sure they want to beat us. But Chelsea's the only game I don't like the word accept, but I'll accept dropping points. Everything else you need to clean up, really, and set yourself up perfectly for the close of the year, really, beginning of the new year, because it's crazy, you know. I know we've got Brighton in the cup in November, but after the World Cup, you've got West Ham at home, Brighton away, Newcastle at home, you know, Spurs away, Man United at home, bro. January's not nice, you know. January's not kind at all. Everton away, Brentford at home, Villa away, then Leicester away. It's crazy. Even the tail end of the season, even April, my birthday month, it's like March, it's not nice. You got Palace at home in March. April the 1st, you got Leeds. Then you got to go to Anfield on the 8th. Then on the 15th, West Ham away. You know, skipping past Southampton at home. You've got City on the 26th. Right. Liverpool, Chelsea, City, all in the same month. This is why I said I like what we're doing with the last 8 games or 9 games that's been played, but we need to just keep going, because crazy. But yeah, hopefully that's what answers your question, my guy. Appreciate that. The time on that clock, let's put 30 there. So yeah, man. I agree. Arsenal needs some ready-to-go players instead of prospects in Jan. Turner and LOKONGA were our best players yesterday. Turner, yeah. LOKONGA for about half an hour. I think Tierney was better than Lokonga, really, in that inverted role, if I'm completely honest with you. But he's up there. Low-key affair. Even with Turner, respectfully to Turner, you know, he had a good game for me. Speed off his line, read situations. Fans were quite critical on his distribution at the Emirates. Did quite well in that regard. But he only faced one shot on target. You know, a bit like at the Emirates, you know, but one of Clint's problems is their inability to convert chances. So really and truly, it was a low-key affair, really. So critics might say certain players found their level there. I don't know about best player there, but when Lokonga did do all right, he did do all right, man. Hey, DG, I think we may have to get rid of Eddie Nelson and Lokonga in the summer if they don't show any improvements. But the wages Eddie is on, it may be hard to get any buyers. But I'd loan Lokonga. I wouldn't give up on Lokonga yet. It's down to him if he wants to be a first team or a squad player. But I would assess because, you know, by 23, you know, what is that quote Wenger used to say on players at 23 specifically? Please, Google have this. And it is true. And I mean, he's turning 23. Is this the full quotes? If you remember, and it is true, again, when you have a young squad, you sign up for certain things. I know he said, I know this is obviously ages ago. I know that I play a 20-year-old centre-back. I know he will cost me points in the season, but I have to stand up for that. If I play a 28-year-old, maybe less talented, he will cost me fewer points, but I'll not give a chance to the young player. That was my rhetoric around El Nene versus LOKONGA. And at some stage, as a manager, I must say that sometimes you feel lonely to stand up there and say, no, I want this boy to play because he deserves it. But just to deserve it, I know as well that he will make mistakes. But you learn your job at around 23 to 24. Then you have a player. Until 23, they'll be up and down. And, you know, he's literally 23 this month. So I'm still expecting up and downs, but there needs to be some sort of base level, some sort of confirmation, some sort of things we can expect from LOKONGA, because respectfully, there is no expectations on him. Like, I don't know what to expect in a game with you. I know El Nene might drop a 5, 6 out of 10. You're not going to be the most glamorous on the ball, but I know positioning is going to be spot on. I don't know with LOKONGA. And that's not just him, that's several young players, you know, even the ones that are not at the club. You start giving, you know, you start showing consistencies and competence in your role. You give the fans, and more specifically the manager, confidence. If the manager's got confidence in you, you're showing competence in that role and you're showing consistency, you're going to play. There's no point being great on the Tuesday if you're shaky on the Saturday, and then fantastic again midweek. And that comes with the territory for not just him, a lot of these young players, because this is what we're signing up for. And everyone, once again, develops at different rates. But yeah, sink or swim kind of, because again, fair enough, when we're back-to-back 8th and 5th, you know, there's opportunities there, and there's Europa League and no Europa League. If we get top 4, then boy, there's less opportunities for certain young players next year, because you got to get top 4 again. You've got a target on your back. There's no random playing youngsters in the group stages of the Champions League, definitely when qualification hasn't been confirmed. So I don't know. I wouldn't give up on that yet. If you could find another striker or someone for Eddie, then fair enough. But I wouldn't give up on Eddie yet. I think you could be a squad player. Nelson, it looks like the marriage has to stop, really and truly. You know, I badly want you to make it here, you know, but it's not looking like you're going to get the minutes here and play to the way you need to play to do what you need to do. You probably needs to leave this environment, shake off the whole Arsenal sort of stuff, and just be Reece Nelson, not Reece Nelson, the man, like not Reece Nelson, Arsenal, kind of do with that sort of thing and just do your thing. Bit like Hudson-Odoi, I think, at Chelsea, really. I feel maybe our manager or system ain't working for him, LOKONGA. That's a crazy agenda. You can't blame LOKONGA. Obviously, if Arteta sanctioned 20 million, we need to know, can he develop the player? But there's nothing wrong with that system. You know, if that system can make Xhaka look like a wealthy, then it can do all right for LOKONGA. Respectfully to Xhaka, he's a decent player. And to be honest with you, even if that was the case, is LOKONGA currently showing a player that you might, you know, change the whole system to kind of, you know, mitigate against his problems? Come on, that's a crazy agenda, man. You can't draw out the gaffer for that. Come on, man. So why is every other player thriving? More or less. You know, bloody Tomiyasu's playing left back and he's thriving. Saliba, 21 years of age, thriving. Gabriel, somewhat thriving. Ramsdale going from strength to strength. Ben White doing what he needs to do. You know, every other midfielder who plays, Fabio Vieira, in the minutes he plays, he's doing all right. Xhaka, as I said, Martin Odegaard, strength to strength. Martinelli excelling. Another player they said Arteta doesn't care about. Even when Eddie plays, he's looking all right. Several players for one. Come on, man. What are you thinking for the Leeds game? Seems a little chaotic for them after a great start, but a tough game regardless. It's Leeds, innit? They never say never. They make it intense for you. A bit like us, they can be their best friends or their worst enemy. Leeds can give you a game. They can score goals. There is high intensity. It is high energy levels. But like you saw against Palace, they're quite error prone defensively and they're quite naive. So I definitely want us to shoot. So yeah, man. I hope we sign 2 players, knowing the board only signed 1. Yeah, bro, I was thinking no less than 13 points. Yeah, Ndika's okay, man, but I don't think he's the Messiah. If we're going to bring a centre back in, I'd like someone that's a bit like the latest, like the mid-20s to later 20s, someone that's just been around the block. Like you see, I was saying Gabriel, Saliba, all these guys, they can develop. I want someone that's kind of done their development stages in defense, that understands defending. Maybe they've been in the championship, they've been in the lower leagues, they've been in systems where they have to really defend for their life. Someone that knows the tricks and trades of defending, the dark arts, all of that. I would like someone that could just be that, and then we can put them in the squad when need be, really, if that makes sense. It looks like it is. At 22, you're just finishing your undergrad studies, but definitely not ready for top level till post-grad complete. Shout out, Davey. Did you see Arteta feature Martin and Fabio? Does that mean Arteta is trying to find a successor for Xhaka? I mean, it could say that, or we need multiple solutions. If these lot can be multifunctional players, which we're seeing, then we've got more solutions and whatnot, man. I mean, there is a player in LOKONGA, but, you know, sometimes it happens at your club, sometimes elsewhere. Maybe company was just trying to help his old club get paid. I don't know. Nelson will be sold. It's looking like such. Change the system for LOKONGA. That's a crazy one, man. Eddie is the manager's love child. If Eddie Nketiah is Arteta's love child, then the woman that gave birth's really done him dirty, because last time I checked, they don't look anything like each other and from 2 different countries. So yeah, if he thinks he's the father, maybe Arteta needs glasses. But we didn't buy in a striker. We was never buying 2. Arteta signed up for that, innit? So if Eddie's good enough to be the backup, we'll have to see, man. If we could, of course. Who wouldn't like someone even better than Jesus? Someone that can fight Jesus. Who wouldn't want that? 58 likes. This is a tough crowd today, innit? Tough crowd. Crazy. But yeah, man. Of course we would. But Arteta's made his bed. Any problems with Arteta and Eddie? I clearly back them more, Arteta. But any problems we find with injuries, if our season is derailed by injuries, if our players are not quite good enough at task, any players that have to step in because of injury suspensions, and if that fluctuates our season, they've made their bed, they're lying in it. This is their squad now. They've known for a while what's going on. If Eddie's your guy, Eddie's your guy. But this is what's going on. So we're going to have to put up with it, man. We're going to have to put up with it, in my opinion. On the topic of the Blink game, people, I wouldn't even call them takeaways, but I had some extended thoughts. I did like Tierney in that inverted fullback role, his best Zinchenko impression. I think, pardon me, Matt Turner had a very good game. You know, on one hand, is it really a good game from the keeper? Is it really a good game from the football club if your keeper's arguably man of the match in a game where there's only been 1 shot on target, 2 from both sides? And again, Matt Turner might probably overdoing it because you only face 1 shot on target. All the other shots are over the bar. I don't know. But I did like an improvement from last week in his distribution. Still think he's a bit shaky there, but there's an improvement. I think he, took a yellow card at the right time to waste time. For me, it was the speed to come off his line, because if you saw one bad point yesterday, we was quite disjointed defensively, and there was a lot of clear-cut chances where definitely that Pellegrino guy should have bagged. Don't care, because it helped us. But I think Matt Turner had a convincing game, really. Keep doing what you're doing. Nelson, okay, shielding the ball well, didn't pull up any trees or anyone thinking, wow. I think Eddie did all right, but yeah, there is quite a significant drop-off. I think we actually missed Granit Xhaka, Gabriel, and Martinelli, progressively going forward as well. Obviously, that was probably, in my opinion, our slowest first half / 20, 30 minutes this season. That was probably our worst game this season. It was even better against United, really, if we're honest. But that's a good thing if we still won, clean sheet, and most valuable 3 points, keep the winning run going. LOKONGA, just need to see more consistency in his game and more consistency over 90 minutes, because sometimes he looks a bit scared. And then when he believes in himself, you see him drop a shoulder, carry the ball forward, do some good. So long may it continue. That's all I would say on the game, really. I'd love to see Sambi make it, but a loan or eventual transfer may be best for his and his club's future. And again, boy, If I'm him, you know, you're not going off with Belgium to the World Cup if it continues like this. I can't blame Arteta because you're not playing for a reason, but you're not going to play for Belgium at the World Cup because you're not getting game time. Could you go out on loan? But the thing is, where he's shaped, I wouldn't sanction Lokonga's loan. Not until a midfielder or midfielders are confirmed at this football club. That's where he has to stay as a body, if I'm completely honest with you. And that's just not him. That's a couple of players, man. That could have been Tavares, and it's peak for Tavares now, really and truly, if I'm honest with you, because Tomiyasu can play there, Tierney and Zinchenko are there. Yeah, man. So I'd love to see it, but boy, I hope so. Apparently, Tierney's giving an interview. Big up Tierney, man, professional as ever. We're gonna get into some of the current footballing affairs. Is there a Tierney interview there? Come on, Tierney, man. He's on Football Daily. Yeah, my guy, Mike. Big up the Metro. You got Tierney there. Come on. We're gonna get into all of that. Lost stream. What's going on? Can you hear me? Hey. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, cool. I don't know what happened there. Probably some internet issues. I can't lie, faith in Eddie. Look how time he turned out. This is why I'm not writing off Eddie yet. I'm not advocating. As you can see, I don't write people off. You know, I can have my opinions. Do I think it's in the balance for Lokonga? Yes. Do I think it's a myth for Nelson? Yes. Do I think it's in a myth for Tavares? Yes. You know, do I think Eddie's going to be the striker not long term? Probably not. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in these guys, because people do surprise you. There was a time it looked like Smith Rowe best served leaving this football club, if you're honest with yourself. He was kind of, when it was Joe, him, Eddie, he needed to leave the group. You can't write people off. Everybody's developing at different rates and speeds and all of that jazz. Don't get it twisted. Just because one person's hit off instantly doesn't mean everyone's going to. And just because someone took a bit of time doesn't mean that you need to be persisted with. And you never know. Some players here, whether that's Lokonga, whether that's Nelson, whoever, they might go to other clubs and hit it off, really and truly. This is how things go. This is why we just need to be open to everything. By all means, by God's grace, these lot develop, show that they can be players here. But there needs to come a time where we can sell these guys, make profit, maybe sell on clauses, buy back clauses, and keep it moving, really and truly. So I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see it. Because at the end of the day, these players, I like Eddie. You know, I don't see you doing anything beyond being a squad player at this moment in time, and I would look to bring in someone better than you. But that's better than how many people, and myself included, were looking at Eddie maybe 12 months ago. Appreciate you lot for updating me with the sound. I'm getting shook there, man. I don't know why it's cutting in and out, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I cannot lie to you, man. Tammy is clear of him, but I don't think that was the point. I think it was Tammy got an opportunity, but where Tammy's got a catalogue of goals, and I think Tammy's gone on some loans. You know, he's learned a lot. He's been at Chelsea where he maybe didn't deserve to. He did deserve more opportunities, but didn't get them. Maybe there's Serie A tax, because a lot of Rebos go over them sides and do all right, but Shoney can score goals. Had a tough loan spell in the Prem at Swansea. At Swansea, which has to have helped harden him. Been at Villa, been at Bristol. Weren't he part of the Villa team that got promoted? Minutes are currency. Eddie ain't really done that. And I actually think, even though it didn't work out for him at Leeds, when he came back from Leeds, he started like 2-3 games in a row for Arsenal. He looked a bit stronger. He looked a bit madder. So, yeah, minutes are currency. And you're going to get minutes, but you're not going to get minutes at the same time, if that makes sense for the young lad. So, hopefully, he can develop and show his class, man. I still love Vlahovic. Have to move on from that, man. Have to let that one go, man. Is Holding good enough for a squad player? Yeah, but if someone was to offer us a decent profit, let him go. But he's comfortable here. He's homegrown. Do a thing in it, but that's about it. But for Holding, it's kind of peak as well, because myself included, I'm probably leaning towards Tomiyasu centre back. If Ben White and Gabriel and Saliba, something's going on with something there. I like Eddie for energy, but game time develops movement and clinical edge. That's true. And you got an opportunity showing it. But I'm not really going to, if I'm harsh, you're right, Hector, but I'm not praising the man for having energy. It's like, you know, you should have energy. It's like with Lacazette, he was our guy, but why do you like Lacazette? He puts the shift in. Anyone that's played Sunday League, think about it. You got two guys, Steven and Joe. Now, Joe is a passion merchant. Joe works hard. Joe gets it. I asked my guy, what do you think of Joe? Oh, Joe's good, man. He puts a shift in. He puts a shift in. What else? He puts a shift in. He gets it. We talk about Steven. Steven, eyes in the back of his head. Couldn't get the ball off him in the phone box. Man, only say that when you're meaty, bro. Respectfully to Joe Willock, first thing I've got an engine. You should have an engine. You're a bloody professional footballer and a midfielder, respectfully. If I'm looking at it on a devil's advocate thing, striker's job is more than just scoring goals in today's day and age. Arguably, it's what you're doing when you're not scoring, like with Jesus. But fundamentally, the game hasn't changed. Score goals, move, keep it moving. Was you happy with Eddie's performance yesterday? I don't think anyone deserves any criticism or anyone deserves any praise unless your name's Tierney in that inverted role, fullback union, or Matt Turner or LOKONGA for 20, 30 minutes in the first half. Put a shift in as a hype, bro. He gets it. It's a hype. I don't get twisted. You need kind of them, man. We have thrived with some of them players. Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson used to play certain players in big games where you look around the squad. They might not have had that eye of a pass, being able to dribble past the whole team. But they were trench babies. They were down for the cause. You can't underestimate that at all, in my opinion. But you can't overcompensate as well. There's got to be a bit of a balance there. But to answer your question, Jason didn't really get much service, did he? Meaty effort with his left peg. And if I'm harsh, even against Fulham, where he came on in the Prem and changed the game, really, he could have scored. I am looking at Eddie a bit harsh now because you've gone from being a spare part to a rotation option. So I'm not going to judge you to the same scale of Jesus. But yeah, hard graft, mate. The graft, exactly. I respect it. It's needed, but come on now, man. Come on now, people, man. It's a hype thing. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at Jesus. Jesus does it all. He puts in a shift, so we do talk about it, but we don't overcompensate. Ain't gonna lie, I needed to score a little bit more goals, but yeah, like I said, we're saying that he understands. He puts a shift in. It's crazy. Don't know why it was bugging out, man. Unfortunately, don't know, man. It seems the internet gods are trying to slow us down today, folks. But we keep moving. Nah, to be fair, Park Ji-Sung had ability, but he was put in for a shift. So you could see why. And I'm sure if you look around that United team, there's people above him. So yeah, man. It is what it is in that regards. General thoughts. Latest news. What's the time on the clock? With it being 52 minutes past, let's see what the latest sort of headlines are saying, people, in that regards. Anyway, should we start from back to front? Let's start from back to front. What's this? What's this? Oh, that was what we just read about. Wenger. Let's type Arsenal win again. Change it to an hour. What's come out in recent days and that. In fact, now let's chill off because we might not have nothing to talk about tomorrow. Crazy. But yeah, man. Dressing rooms are hype as well. It's needed, but it's a hype, man. But yeah, looking at the headlines, people, let's start here. Flying Scotsman, who's had a good game in Europa League in that inverted role. Tierney responds to Arsene Wenger calling Arsenal title contenders and hails amazing William Saliba. What has he said here? Scrolling down to see exactly what he said. Well, we know what Wenger said. I don't know about title contenders. I haven't checked where Arsenal are in the league table. All I know is that there's been 8 or 9 games. Yes, Arsenal could finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or, you know, if City messed around, maybe win the title. But you could also finish out of that. Keep your feet on the ground. Maybe after 25, 30, 37 games, you can start to believe. But we've not accomplished anything. We have worked very hard in pre-season and we're reaping the fruits of our labor. Let's keep maintaining. There's going to be many bumps and bruises, twists and turns. Let's settle down. Everything is still mathematically possible. But shout out the father for gassing us. Apparently, Tierney said, well, he obviously knows an awful lot about football, but it's early doors. The aim for everyone here is to finish as high as possible, but we won't get too carried away and we'll take it game by game. Arteta has said that. Martinelli has said that. Xhaka has said that. Granit Xhaka has said that. Jesus has said that. It's true. The connection with the fans is the best it's been since I came here. We know we're playing well, so hopefully we can keep it up. He then bigged up Saliba. I think he's done amazing. I'm genuinely so happy because he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's just found it a bit tough when he first came here. He was young and had to go on loan a few times, but it just shows the character that he can come back and fit straight into the team. And he looks like he's been part of the side for 2 or 3 years. All credit to him because he's an amazing player and an amazing guy. He deserves every bit to him. And that's true, man. But Tierney, I can't lie. You've given some comments and I want to see specifically what Tierney has said, man. I think he opened up on losing his spot in the first team and when he was told. What's this? I mean, this might be it. Football Scotland. Tierney gutted. Arsenal reaction as ex-Celtic star opens up on Mikel heart-to-heart after losing his place. But hey, he was left gutted after being told he'd be dropped for the visit of Liverpool, as you should, but the collective comes first. Results over feelings. If we win, who cares? Well, me anyways. I want you to be upset. He said, yes, of course, I was thinking I was going to play. I got taken off in the Thursday game and I thought he was maybe keeping me for the Sunday. Same. And maybe that at the time was his plan as well. The day before, he took me in and said, it's not on your performance. It's just a tactical change that I want to make. And it worked. Because Tierney, you're one of the best defenders in the club, but Tomiyasu's like John Wick, really and truly. You know, when he's on you and he's trying to defend against you, can't pattern that really and truly. And he pocketed Salah, so who cares? It worked really and truly. So yeah, Tierney got shagged there, but we move in it. It's a tactical decision. If I was Tierney, because I used to hate being on the bench, I'd start thinking, oh, the manager don't believe in me. I don't feel like I've played. You know, why does the manager think this tactical change shouldn't include me? And obviously, Tierney, your one weakness of you is in the air. Tomiyasu, they can't pop it over his head. That's all Liverpool are on, just trying to clip it over their heads. It didn't bang, you know, and obviously he stuck to him like glue as well. Yeah, man, it's nice to see. So, well, Salah found that, you know, I heard Salah played against some, you know, Rangers and that. It's nice to see that Tomiyasu set him free back into the wild. And I'm seeing Spurs pipe up again with Emerson Royal. Martinelli, you need to be a bit harsher next time around. But anyways, I'm gutted. That's all it is. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to try hard. I'm gutted because I want to play every opportunity I can, especially in big games. You want to play and soak in the atmosphere. There's nothing I can say. We went out and won, and Tomiyasu played amazing, and the game plan worked. It just shows you not many managers would probably think we'll switch the right back over there, but he did, and it worked. Fair enough. That's the first meeting I've had in my life where I've been dropped. It's still new to me. This season has been new to me. It's a culture shock, but this is what happens. Respectfully, you was at Celtic and you was at Arsenal when we was meaty. There was a spell last season for 3 or 4 games where I wasn't playing, but since the start of the season, I've not really played. It's all new to me. I'm learning and I'm dealing with it. Nice to see you not get crying and that. It's tough. Footballers want to play. I worked so hard to get back from injury. You just want to play as much as you can as soon as you're back. Sorry, people. Unfortunately, I've not played too many, but every time I get the chance to play, I'm so grateful and I work as hard as I possibly can for the team. Shout out the Flying Scotsman, Elite Ments. So yeah, we've read that. What else have we got here? It's time to improve. Arsenal midfielder Fabio Vieira claims he's been lifting weights 3 times a week to help adjust to the physical prem. Appreciate that. And he's called on teammates to keep working. Another one that said, relax. Lovely to see, man. You know, just all you got to do is look at Bernardo Silva, David Silva, them kind of man there. They're on this thing, man. But yeah. It's a different type of game in Portugal. It's different. In England, it's more physical, and you need to work on this. I promise I'm working when asked. Yes, 3 times a week. It's time to improve when talking about physicality. And I mean, Arteta drops little things in different ways as well. He's kind of said that you need to improve off the ball defensively, and you know that's a big thing for Mikel Arteta. He then, when asked on title credentials, oof. Yes, of course, Arsenal's a big club. Everyone knows at the moment we're in first place. It's really good and we need to keep working, keep going game by game. I feel very happy here. The support of our fans every time is very important. And for me, it's very important to feel the love from them. Who's that? Oh, Robertson. Pardon me. He said, I'm not surprised. We know the quality we have and we know his mindset we have now. I think they mean the mindset we have now. Everyone is ready for every game, for every action, and that's what we wanted today. It wasn't the best game, but we won, and that's the best thing about today, the 3 points and our winning mentality to just win every game. Fair enough, man. It was an unconvincing victory, but they all count. All right, man. It's a very busy schedule these days, so we have to be ready, recover as quick as possible. It'll be a different game, and we have to be ready. Our goal is to try to win the next game. That's all it's about now. take it game by game and try to win every time we play. We're not getting carried away. We have to stay calm and keep working. Exactly. Odegaard sends one. Well, you got to sign up for that, so we'll never know about that, really and truly. We'll get into the press conference in a bit, people, but just staying on task. Arsenal have been linked with an FM wonder kid, Marcos Leonardo. Apparently he's at Santos, where quite good players come from there. He's just 19 years of age, can play out wide, as well as through the middle as well. 19, you never know. He said back in a while ago, he said, I want to play in the Premier League one day. And he said, by his own admission, he's a striker with a lot of speed and strength. Why not really get something from Brazil? I hope Arteta and Edu have been scouting. Apparently, Arsenal and United are showing an interest. We'd never like to see the tags about the next Neymar and all of these things. They don't help anybody, really. Spurs and Napoli are also interested as well, people. As you can see here, Napoli, Arsenal, Spurs, United, all interested. And I think this was back in June, people. This was back in June where he said he wants to one day play in the Premier League. So why not? He said every player wants to be successful, needs to be prepared for pressure. I play for a big club in Brazil, so all the time you live with pressure. I'm happy with the recognition in Brazil and now outside, but I'm very down to earth. I realize I need to keep working to grow even more. I like the mindset. First of all, I want to make history in the Santos, winning titles, putting my name in the club's top players gallery to be the top scorer in the competitions I play. Then I want to manage to get into the Brazilian national team. I'm doing well in the youth categories, but my focus is on having the chance to rep my country in a World Cup wearing the 9 shirt. I believe these are my 2 biggest goals at the moment. I want to play in Europe. I want to see that I have to complete stages before any kind of opportunity to do that. So yeah, man, big up him. Granit Xhaka in relation to a new deal. Brazil FC fully, my guy. Why not? You could do a lot. You could do a lot worse. Arsenal could do a lot worse, if I'm completely honest with you. But apparently, Arsenal to open late December. Granit Xhaka talks in surprise twist. Does he really want talks around his future while the World Cup's going on, or have they begun already? Because clearly, the gaffer likes you, the manager the club like you. You're an experienced player. You're one of the actual most reliable experienced players. Because Partey is in terms of ability, in terms of fitness. I don't know. Cedric, Pablo, Marie, Willian was here. Bamian, Lacazette. Some have done better than others. They haven't. So I could understand it, but. You know, and as you get older, we need a long-term replacement for Xhaka or just damn right an upgrade. So I'm here for it, but I wouldn't be against it. But is December the right time? We're going through the mid-season. Obviously, he's going to try to be focusing on the World Cup. Surely it's began now. And it all depends. If Xhaka wants to kind of end his career here or end in a couple of years, why not? But especially if we get the Champions League, I'm sure he'd want to be a part of it. You know, he's got a good working relationship with everyone. But he's 30. He didn't grow up in the academy. He didn't grow up in England. I'm sure, you know, he's played in Germany. He's played in England. He almost looked like to be going back to Germany once upon a time. He was enticed to play under Jose Mourinho, rightly so, in Italy. He's spoken of watching Serie A when he grew up. Maybe he wants to try one more thing. Obviously, he's got a family now, so that could mean something. His family are clearly stable in London. He's happy with life here. The fans, them are singing his name. Maybe that's that. But if he's got a smidget of wanting to try a new experience, I always say do it. Because yeah, we might need you and things like that. But when you're 33, me as a fan, I'm just going to go, thank you. You know, if he was asking for a 2-year deal and Arsenal saying no, and he gets a testimonial and he wants more than that, thank you. You know, we don't owe you nothing. This is a relationship of convenience. You're not at Arsenal because you're a nice guy. Someone reckoned you was good enough to bring to this club. So yeah, he's got 18 months on his deal until 2024. You know, Arsenal ready to discuss a new contract with the midfielder after his involvement at the World Cup with Switzerland. Obviously, we're in talks with Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and William, and obviously Bukayo Saka, the trio here. You'd want to see their contracts confirmed a bit more, but why not? Really, he's come a long way. And just, I mean, whenever you mention Granit, you can never forget about this. I was at the game in 2019, but it's long now. I said it at the time, and I got a lot of stick pause on socials for it. I don't agree with how the fans treated him. I don't agree with what he did, but I don't think he was wrong. They're swearing at you. Swear back. What do you think this is? Because half the people that are giving verbal, they're just going to ask you for a picture. And it was unhealthy. He's human. It clearly got too much. But at the same time, I am tired of hearing about it now. It's gone now. Like, it's long now. Every interview Xhaka gives, every interview we do, we keep hearing about it. It's cool, man. I would love Frankie de Jong. Listen, Frankie de Jong, Jude Bellingham, all these, Savic, Locatelli's and all. I'd love some of these duns, you know. Real Madrid, if you ever want to sell Camavinga and all these brothers, Valverde, why not? But the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. There's rice at home, man. We ain't got money for McDonald's, so start scouting. So yeah, big up Granit, really, if he is to sign a new deal, really. We've already seen this about battling it out for the 19-year-old. Really, people. Martinelli, talent of the century, turned into a superstar. Klopp's never going to be forgiven for that comment, is it? I love it. Let's see what's going on there, man. He's doing quite well. You know, he's setting up teammates. He's just doing well, man. And I credit it to this. He got the Benzema hand thing there, man. It's crazy. So yeah, he's scoring more goals. He said, "I think it's my best season here. I'm so happy for this moment." He scored 4 times in 9 Premier League apps, just 2 fewer than he managed in the entire last season. He has 2 assists as well. Maybe if VAR didn't shag us at Old Trafford, he'd have more. He's a great player, says Arteta. I think he had an outstanding performance against a top team. He made a difference in the game, and that's the next level to step up in these games and actually make things happen. And I think he's showing more variety in his game. I still think sometimes he tries too hard, but I don't want that to leave him because that's what makes him him. He provokes havoc by wanting to take things. I think he needs to play with his head up a bit more. He's not as one geared as he used to. He used to just be 100 miles per hour. He's still got that because that's what makes it that, but he's kind of learning when to slow it down. Defensively, he's putting in a shift now. So, yeah, man, 9 appearances, 4 goals, 2 assists, 26 shots, created 20 chances. And every now and again, Arsenal fans, I ain't got them to hand, but the dribbling stats are always there as well, man. A man said, "I don't say Bellingham with a normal accent anymore, and it's your fault, DG." I don't know where we picked that one up from, but we running with it. Big up Jude, man. So, yeah, big up to him. He's improved quite a lot, and he's bulking up. Apparently, the Brazilian is averaging a goal every 195.8 minutes, which is a marked improvement upon, you know, a goal every 311 minutes. His conversion rate is 15.4. That's up from 11.5. He's also averaging more shots per game, you know, 3 compared to 2.5. More shots on target, you know, which has gone up, creating more chances and completing more dribbles. So just doing better in all attacking metrics, as we want everyone to. He has fashioned 19 chances from open play this term. Only Salah and Kevin De Bruyne have created more. I disregard Salah's thing. I know De Bruyne is playing football. Liverpool doing that spam nonsense. There's only one guy that's done more than him, man. Kevin De Bruyne plays football. Martinelli does as well. I don't know what Salah does, really. But yeah, anyways, not only it's all banner. Not only is he now a more dynamic player, but he's also a more productive player. Alongside Jesus and Saka, he's part of a front three that is as dangerous as any in the English top three. Yeah, man. It's amazing to play alongside them. We have a lot of time to improve. I think we have great quality, and I think we can do more. Amen. And it's, for me, the thing I like about Martinelli is the hunger. He's different with it. Maybe it's because of Brazil, where he's grown up, the fact that he's had failed trials at United, Barca, the fact of he's had a massive injury at Arsenal, the fact of he's had to hold bench for a minute, you know, and the challenge we was all saying in the summer, you know, because of Martinelli, his colleague, Smith Rowe's injury, the left wing was yours. Can you have a breakout season, a double figure thing like Smith Rowe and Saka did? Free up for Smith Rowe as well. Can't wait till you're back to complicate things, people. He's now in the final 2 years of his deal. Arsenal have the option of extending the deal by 2 further years, people. We do need to renew him, people. And apparently he wants to stay, but the money has to make sense, really and truly. So, yeah, man, is what it is in that regards. Arsenal and Chelsea join Liverpool in battle to sign young winger. I don't think Jeremy Doku is ready. Obviously, if you try and buy him when he's ready, like you've seen with that guy at Napoli or maybe Mudryk and Shakhtar, you get into a bidding war. But last time I checked, he's in Belgium's under 21s. I don't know his statistics to hand. He's a quality player. Another one that's been at Anderlecht on his day, but the numbers, he's got scope to improve and things like that. But I think he's too raw for me anyways at this moment. And he's still 20, so I expect that. But the money Rennes are going to ask for is crazy. But yeah, apparently Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool and Arsenal, don't know about Chelsea, have been chasing this man since he was 16. Liverpool came quite close to getting him, and he had meetings with Arsenal. We're set to battle it out for this guy's number, people. You know, he's got 100 appearances split between Rennes and Anderlecht. Apparently, Rennes will be looking to make a profit on the guy they signed for 26 million euros. What price? I'll take him, but at what price? 30 million star, definitely on shortlist at the Emirates. I bet this is Cody Gakpo. Yeah, it is. And he's been, you know, in terms of numbers, he's doing quite well, man. 200 people watching. Hit the like button. Get to 100. We're still not there. TW engagement. Struggling, mate. He's struggling. But yeah, appreciate you for that. Arsenal will have PSV Eindhoven winger Cody Gakpo on their shortlist of targets. 1 minute he wants to join the Champions League club. Then Real Madrid are onto him. Then United. Then this. Then that. The third. A recent report from The Athletic revealed that Arsenal have entered the running for Gakpo's signature alongside Real Madrid following his outstanding start to the current campaign. And Peter Rook, you said Arsenal are going to splash the cash in January. I don't know what he's saying, man. You lot can have him, really. I'd take Gakpo, but I'd rather leave it, man, if I'm honest with you. Arsenal were in the market for a wide player just before the close of the summer transfer window, so I still think it's an area of the team that Mikel Arteta would like to strengthen, and I'm sure Cody Gakpo would definitely figure on the list of those targets. Well, probably if you've scouted him. And he's drawing interest from Arsenal, United, Madrid. So put down the money if you think he's good enough in it, really. It's like that. Allegedly, if you believe Nicolo Scary, I can't say his name. I can't like Gakpo over Doku probably, but I'd rather leave them both at this moment. And I think if we're bringing in a winger, I'm all for these young dons with potential, but kind of bring someone that's better than what we have, man. But Bukayo Saka is getting closer and closer to extending his contract with Arsenal until 2027 with an increased salary, says Nico. Whether that's true or not, you're going to have to, I don't know, people. Arsenal have now won more games across all comps this season than any other Premier League club. 1 L, beer wins, 5 clean sheets, conceded 11, scored 29. So can we concede a bit less? And it would make no sense for him to leave before the World Cup. He's having a good season, though. Arsenal and Liverpool have already agreed to play AC Milan during a warm weather training camp in Dubai. Arsenal have arranged to base themselves in the Middle East so players can fly in from Qatar once their World Cup campaigns are finished, folks. Cedric took part in a coaching session for the club's under-15s recently and also oversaw a session at Hale End last season as he works on his coaching badges. Shout out to him, man. Love to see that. So yeah, people, no one care what Gary Neville has to say. Sergi is the midfielder Juventus is missing. I mean, he's being talked up. He's been linked with Juventus, PSG, Arsenal, Man United, all these things. And they said they want 120 million for him, people. Sergi has 18 months left on his contract. We'll have to discuss his situation with Lazio after the World Cup. So yeah, he would be a good player for Juventus, who love a midfielder, man. So yeah, really. Should we see what the gaffer has had to say? Xhaka new deal, wow. DG, you mentioned a young French player who plays on the wings and up front. He's fast and very young. I'm not too sure who. Doku's not French. He's Belgian, but he plays for Rennes in France, if that's what you thought. Aside from the obvious skill level, cannot underestimate the importance and Gabby getting stronger physically. He's less prone to picking up and knocking draws or being pushed off the ball. I hear that. Doku over Gakpo. Yusuf Fofana could be a calm, shrewd addition, but Monaco, seeing that we're English tourists, are going to make us pay. Arteta's had something to say. This press conference can't be too long. Yeah, it can't. No way, man. There's not that much to say on Bodo. Listen, they 14 games unbeaten in Europe. Of course, you know, it's nice to end that considering their form there. He then went on to say on our overall performance, the second half, obviously, there are a lot of things to improve. We know that. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I understand as well why this is happening, but I think he did make 7 changes. But I think the boys deserve credit as well for the way they tried, quality-wise, in terms of dominance and how we want to play. Obviously, there are a lot of things to get better than what we've done today, but it's another win, move on, and now it's Leeds on. Turner's improvement with his distribution. He's improving. He's getting better. We're demanding things that are different to what other managers have demanded him to do. He was much better in the first half than the second half. In my opinion, we can have more control. He was phenomenal in goal. 1 shot on target. He was good coming off his line, but 1 shot on target. You know, Glint across the 2 games are good, but they can't score, so they can't win games. Like Art Saka said, you've got to take your chances. So, yeah, I agree. I think Turner's probably man of the match, but it kind of sums up the game if that's the man of the match, if I'm playing devil's advocate. He was phenomenal in goal. The way he reads the situations, especially the defending the back of the centre backs, centre defenders, when he needs to control the space there, the way he sets himself in the 1-on-1 situations he had, he was really good. On whether he is confident in Turner starting a Premier League game, yes, but not right now, though. Listen, big up Glint, you know, they're a fantastic opponent and things like that. Apparently, you know, though he said the way Odegaard was training, he wanted to play. On whether beating PSV next week, where we'll get to watch Gakpo firsthand, will allow him to mix things up selection-wise. In Europe, when you have the opportunity to get there, take it. Because a lot of things happen that are very unpredictable. So we'll prepare the game next week, obviously after Leeds, and try to win. On the artificial pitch, he said, you are, but it's the squad. We have had 16 players available, so I have to play 11, and I don't want to lose 11 to play 90 minutes here because I know probably what's going to happen in the next day or two. If they get injured here, we should be talking about how we should not be risking a player or risk another player. At the end, they have to play because we don't have the squad. We all knew that it was going to be really complicated. Again, I repeat myself, and it's 14 games they've won consecutively here. So I think we have to play at a different level today. But the team selection was as well because some other issues that we have with other players that could not start today. Shout out that. Saka's had something to say. He said, yeah, it did. You know, it was skidding across the floor really fast and stuff like this, but it's not an excuse, you know. A lot of us have grown up on it. Exactly what I'm saying. Some of you have played on rubbish pitches or artificial pitches before you got to be bougie in the Premier League. Myself at Haylen, I played on AstroTurf pitches a lot, so it's not an excuse, you know. We just have to play our game and get on with it. The gaffer and Odegaard said that pre-game. He said it's a very difficult place to come, and we left here with 3 points, so we have to just take it and focus on Sunday. And if I'm correct, Mikel Arteta said Bukayo Saka can improve as well. You find them comments. That's one. And I think Saka said the ball hit him in his lips. Why? But yeah. Saka, where is what you said, man? I think it was on BT. Could even be this, but yeah, man. Anywho, back to this. Arteta insists Saka needs to improve defensively. Yeah, he does. He's improving, but he needs to. And he needs to demand more of himself. Of course, as any attacking player, you need to have that mindset. He said, yes, but again, he can become much better. He had moments in the game where he was really good, and then moments he can improve and demand more of himself, especially defensively. There were moments where we allowed their left back to progress the play and break our press too easily. That's true. There's a lot of things to improve. So, yeah, he's right with that, man. He's right with that, man. So, yeah, with that being said, what else is there? Is it this? It might be this, people. Sorry about that. One sec. There we go. Change up the program. I don't need a contract. Where is... Oh, well, we definitely can't. We can't watch that 100%, so I can't find it. But Saka, I'm trying to find the comments where Saka was talking about how the ball... Long story short, the ball... He said the ball hit him in his lips, and he kind of alluded to the fact of, yeah, Glint played well in terms of creating chances, but you've got to take your chances. If you don't shoot properly and hit the target, you don't score. And as I said, there was 2 shots on target between both teams. So that says everything. You know, 1 shot apiece. And that and both teams had, well, so you know, I'm not making this up. You lot can actually see it yourselves, people. So as much as I think, as I said, Turner's man of the match, really and truly, this is a nothing game. You know, my maths is poor, but 13 shots between both sides, 2 of them hit the target. Now, fortunately for us, we won. 8 corners. Who cares though? Because we won, clean sheet, and we sit 9th. We sit with 9 points at the top. PSV breathing down our necks. You take minimum, ideally 6 points, but minimum 4 points off them. You're somewhat laughing to a degree. Appreciate everyone who's hit the like button there. Come on. So yeah, man. It is what it is. Yeah, so Vlahovic, but everyone doesn't want him at Arsenal. We're not gonna get Vlahovic, man. Why would he want to give up on him, Locatelli, all these guys? Why would you give... If we can, why not? You know, but why would you give up on your Juventus after saying, oh, I grew up Juventus fan and all of this? Why would you give up already? Especially when Allegri, it looks a case of if it continues like this, when, not if, you'll get sacked. Xhaka new deal is tricky. His performances have been incredible, but it's real. But it's really because Partey holds that 6 like a G. To be fair, there's been times where Xhaka's held it down without Partey, or Xhaka's held Partey's hand, and there's been times where Partey's did it. But you'd want to see that both midfield, you know, football's about getting the best out of your teammates. So as long as the relationship looks good, why not? Is João Felix realistic? If you put the bread down, anything can happen, but I would say no. Growing fears Reece James will miss the World Cup, for God's sake. Get well soon, Reece James. But bear man, are going to have it. Apparently, Kante's missing that. It's bare stuff. I hope Xhaka ends his career here after everything he's been through, a top role model. I hope if he continues like this, he does. But if he doesn't keep it up, he needs to go on like. So as long as whatever can get my football club back to where we need to. Jeremy Doku's quality, but he's another rough gem that needs to be molded and things like that. You know, there's only so much trees you can plant and grow one time. So I'll take it, but yeah, man. What else are you lot saying? I'll take Gakpo as well, but we always do that. A few good games and we offer a new contracts. When we upgrade, it's always too late. To be fair to Xhaka, I think he's been good the whole year. And for the large part, he's been one of Arsenal's best players for the whole of 2022. I'm not saying you're wrong, because it does, you know, El Nene, people were like, oh yeah, man, get rid. 2 good games, 3 good games. Arsenal fans are easily amused, man. Is Pepe still here? Surely you can get some sort of tune out of him. He's at Nice. I think he scored the other week. I mean, Disneyland channel settings, you would love for him to come back and have an opportunity. He needs to probably cut now, isn't it? Contracted until 2024. The writing's on the wall. Put the bread down and Felix is yours, hopefully. But I can't see us doing that. Mudryk would be a great signing. Yeah, that. We need the Locatelli swap with LOKONGA. So bad, man. I think the Juventus be hanging themselves. Is it easier to sign Danilo in Jan than in the summer? I don't know. I'd like to imagine so, because wasn't that the rhetoric how his club were on selling him next January? Quality is relative, man, but you do need to sign ready-made players to compete, especially if you're in the Champions League. Respectfully, you can't really rock up with all the kids that we've got and expect serious things. So I got to take Reece James out of my fantasy team. All right, that Kwesi Kwarteng brother is getting sacked as Chancellor. You flipping. Oh, I'm going to get myself cancelled. Don't come back. You're not around there. Flipping loon. If you know, you know. What rhymes with loon? You loon, bro. The how you saw brothers in the field. You thought the house was lit. You're worse than the racist, bro. You're a pagan. Absolute pagan. You go inside. See, he made you the fool guy. The Tories made you the fool guy. Don't cry, don't beg. It's over, blood. Pussy, yo. You've been sacked. Safe. Man, 38 games, 38 days. Oh, surely Sam Allardyce lasted longer than that. That ain't black excellence. That's just black mediocrity, really. Let me stop, man. I'm getting myself cancelled. I'm second in the DG Nation League. I wish I could be there, man. I hope we go for Douglas Luiz, man. I hope we do, but I don't know what we're on. I don't know what we're going to do and them things there. But on that note, though, people, we've been here for an hour and 21 minutes. I want to try go barbers. I want to get something to eat. And it's Friday, innit? I'll be back again at 4:30. Sunday, we're definitely going to watch Liverpool and City and Leeds Arsenal. So make sure you're following on Twitch and YouTube. If there's anything to talk about tomorrow, then I'll be live again. Cut-up clips soon land. I've got a bunch of cut-up clips. And I'm sure you haven't taken in my reaction from yesterday. So take that in. Most importantly, I hope you lot are blessed. You're safe. Your family's in good health. And I hope you've all had a great progressive week. So I hope you've all enjoyed your week. I hope you lot enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you lot when I see you lot, people. Twitch gang, is there anyone live to raid right now? I don't know, man. Let's just press the raid button. I see someone live. Let's just raid the thing. Have a lit weekend, man. DG, you agree for us to go for Douglas Luiz, Mudryk? I don't mind Mudryk. I don't mind Doku. I'd rather the Napoli brother, but he's going to cost an arm and a leg. You know, I don't mind them. Danilo and Douglas Luiz and centre mids is more my pressing need in January. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Thank you to everyone who's hit that like button as well. It's appreciated, and I'm very appreciative. So, yeah, man, let me let you lot get out of here, man. It's not a jerk chicken thing today, man, to be fair with you. I'm going to go Greg's. It's near my barbers, isn't it? So I'm going to go Greg's still. But, yeah, man, see.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like
Tongue